Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Dicefunctional, Campaign 2 with the Neighborhood Watch. Where we last left our group of intrepid adventurers, they had just rescued one Hadrien Devereaux from the Stonehearts that were attempting to kill them, only to then nearly lose Hadrien Devereaux to the actions of a then-possessed Castella, the party's very own rogue, which they then had to do battle with. The possessed Castella by the sentient dagger Phaon proved to be a difficult encounter for the party, trying to basically kill whoever they could get their hands on, and summoning a few minions that reminded you all of some previous enemies. You guys managed to deal with her and stopped Phaon from killing any of you, and managed to avoid killing Caz in the meantime, and then got yourselves right the hell out of that sewer. There, you then started getting some medical treatment done for Caz and the injured Hadrien, while the rest of you began cleaning yourselves up. Fitz, Caz, and Hadrien are currently the only people in the doctor's room. Shay has stepped out briefly to begin prepping some more bandages, cleaning stitches, getting things ready for, cleaning bandages, prepping new stitches, getting stuff ready to begin patching you guys up. But that's basically where we last left off. So, let me just get some music going. Wrong. That's not the one I wanted. Whatever. It'll do for right now. I will correct that in a moment. So, Caz and Fitz. What do you guys wish to do?
I mean, I'm injured, so I'm laying in bed.
Fitz is still desperately reading and trying to ignore the iciness and tension of the room by just being really casual. I can't close my fists, but
Jill has just put nail polish on, so they cannot yet do very much with their hands.
Listen, I'm masked. Eileen mask. This is not normal for me. I'm struggling.
You know what probably would have been better?
What?
We waited till after D&D and I did your nails.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Probably.
You know, the more feminine of the two of us.
In fairness, I can't understand the urge to get it done immediately. So
I just want black nails. It's the only color I ever paint my nails. It's my inner. I'm in the Midwest now. I'm a Midwest emo now. What am I supposed to do?
is that a thing? Either way. Fitz, you were very clearly attempting to ignore the tension in the room. Would you like to roll an insight check?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Fitz is extremely socially aware.
Yeah, Fitz is currently extremely socially aware. Basically, the immediate realization that you are having is that Hadrien's current demeanor is not directed at either of you two right now. Although it very easily could wind up becoming directed at one of you two.
What? Wait, what does that mean?
It means he's really pissed and when people are angry, their anger can get misdirected pretty quickly and easily.
Mm.
Basically, he seems like he is trying to contend with the fact that what he was told seemed truthful, and it seemed like the individual that was telling them this was being honest. And that to him is very upsetting, because the implication behind it is will change his perspective likely forever, and it's going to be a very difficult shift for him to make.
It's gonna tilt his worldview 180.
You mean to tell me all these guys have been killing?
Still bad
Interesting.
guys. So
Still
like,
bad guys.
he's still
but-
killing Nazis.
But the real bad guy behind them set me up to kill them, effectively.
Yeah.
And set them up to kill me.
Look, Hadrien, there's a reason why I wanted to contact you. At least when I didn't tell Fitz about it initially. I just had a hunch that your dad was being framed.
I want you to roll persuasion, please.
I'm not a good persuader. I'm just saying it here.
I know, but you're trying to say something to a man who is not happy.
I know that's not a really good thing to say. Well, that's not really
That's not great.
not great, but it could be.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
You will see that there is a now a visible vein that is starting to bulge on Hadrien's head, and he appears to be clenching his jaw very tight.
And it's gonna pop his stitches.
I'm trying to figure out. Fitz so desperately wants to like try and break this tension, but I have no clue how he would even attempt it. It's if he had a choice usually in his past, he would have just left this fucking room. Not my problem. Fitz, okay. I've sort of figured out a plan here.
Okay.
Without really saying anything, Fitz is gonna do what he always does when someone is unhappy or uncomfortable, and just very casually take Frog and set him on Hadrien's bed, and then just kind of go back to the book. It's just a little frog.
Little frog.
You can't be mad at Frog. He's so cute. He's doing his little like battle hoppies. You know,
What
war
exactly?
dance.
What exactly would Frog? I will give you a persuasion roll with advantage
Okay.
to just.
What's that?
Adrian's favorite animal is a ferret.
I'm
Oh, no.
no.
The reason I
No.
would have argued for it is because Frog is an emotional support animal.
Yeah,
He's an
no,
ESA.
it's more so just that Frog is not something that he even like something even when you're angry, you cannot get angry at an animal because it is an animal.
He didn't do anything.
That's exactly
Okay,
it.
at
That
advantage.
the animal did nothing. I'm not going to freak out at an animal.
Yeah.
Okay, 14. I still have a -1 to
No.
fucking charisma rolls. It's not great. If low
Wait, are you
charisma.
rolling with your stats or frog stats?
Fitz's
Should I ro-
stats.
Yeah, I was like, I should roll with my
I said
stats. I
said
think.
Fitz.
I missed that part. That's why I was
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah.
Okay, Frog has a 3 charisma, so if I was rolling with Frog,
Would
wrong.
have worse.
It would have been terrible. He's a -4.
It's funny as hell, though.
How can he be not charming? He's so cute. He's the cutest little man on the planet.
I don't know. Some people just don't agree that animals can be charismatic.
People that don't think ferrets are cute perish. Ferrets fucking rule.
That is a question. How is the charisma of a ferret a 3 when the charisma of a battle horse is 7?
Yeah, that's a great question.
They're valiant steeds.
Because battle horses are scarier than ferrets.
Ferrets are scary as fuck.
You were
Fair
literally
hobby?
just
I-
talking about how cute
I
they
prefer
are.
the idea that whoever made the stats for them was actually just a horse girl, and they decided that the horses have better stats.
I think
Like,
it's just the horse is
goddamn.
better at being intimidating.
I think that ferrets should get advantage on intimidation checks. If they do their little war dance.
Hold on. The charisma score of the 5e cat is also 7.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yes.
you set down Frog onto the bed, and you will see that Hadrien they seem to realize what they are about to do, or how they're about to act is probably not right. They seem to rein themselves back a little bit. What the fuck was? There we go. That was weird. It certainly does not seem like everything is fixed, but they are calmer.
Frog is like a cat. Any movement under the fucking doctor bed blanket, you have a ferret flying full force at you.
Any kind of movement on the thin sheet of the bed immediately gets a ferret attacking your foot.
Yeah. Like, you know how foxes dive?
Yeah,
That's what Frog
I know
does
exactly what
every
you're
time.
referring to.
Yeah. Just a creature. Don't mind me flapping my wings.
No, it's okay. I figured there was a reason for it.
Yeah, I'm trying to fly off. Ugh.
Ha.
Caw. Sorry, cold brew's hitting.
Yeah, Hadrien is not going to speak unless either someone tries to talk with him or what have you. He will sit and stew, basically. Which does lead me to one thing. Darius, we agreed that you were going off and getting the stuff for a legend lore
Correct.
scroll. Ultimately, it's still going to take a few hours for that to get done. So basically like 3 hours for making it, and then maybe an hour for getting it. Just because you guys have a lot of movement options as of now.
I have teleport.
So that is certainly something you're going to be doing on your side. Caz and more accurately Jill and Jolly, if there are any things that you wish to have scene wise in your area, feel free to tell me. There's going to be a little bit of a loose bit of time that we're going to work around with, because there are all still other things that other folks could want to do in the meantime. So if you want, I can leave you guys off here and I can come back and check to see if there's anything else you want to do later.
That works for
Okay.
me.
The rest of you are all still well, some of you are still somewhat injured after the fight. All of you are winded or tired in your own ways. Aching muscles, creaking bones, and the older individuals. You all are trying to pick yourselves up to something close to 100% after everything that has happened. Fizzy, you turned on some switch inside of the Roman bath you found.
Yeah.
And it appears that the water inside of it has begun to maybe filter itself and then start to heat as the room has begun to basically fill with steam.
Oh, this is nice.
Or water vapor, effectively.
This is nice.
So who else would want to use the bathing area at this moment in time? Granny, got it.
Yeah, that I believe that was the excuse she used when she left Fitz and Caz with Hadrien to be like, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
take that bath and go help
They
Fizzy.
just handed her an armful of towels.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
It's like, go in there.
I would want to take a bath at some point.
Well,
Sorry.
you have character development to do.
I am depressed and tired and sleepy.
Cassie's a depression bath.
I have depression. Well, she has it now as well, but
Cassie's a depression bath.
Yeah, that's good. So Granny, Fizzy, you two would be the only individuals currently inside of the bathing area. Do you wish to have any scenes?
Good.
this is the alternate version of a campfire.
It's a little awkward to have a scene. Sorry.
It's awkward to have a scene with Granny sitting there in a towel.
I don't think Granny's a towel, homie.
She's too old to care.
Yeah, you're the two that care the least.
That's true.
I was like,
but
why would
Michelle
Fizzy
cares.
care? Hasn't Fizzy seen her mom's?
No, but
Like-
Fizzy doesn't. Fizzy doesn't care. Michelle cares.
Yeah.
Really quick, I need to kill Fitz really quick and then get a woman loving woman cougar hunter. No reason. No reason. Auga.
In
Fizzy
fa-
is, Fizzy is very quiet actually after everything, so her
Yeah.
mind's like very thoughtful, which is a lot for her because she's not a thoughtful person.
Lots of electrons firing up there that don't usually
She
fire.
really, no.
She's like, ugh.
This hurts a little actually. Let me see something.
Pop the blood vessel in her eye
Oh
from
yeah,
thinking too
yeah,
hard.
they are firing. I rolled an intelligence check for myself, and I rolled decently high. I rolled a 16, which is a 15, but
Wow.
for Fizzy, that's pretty good.
I think we're Granny's just focusing on relaxing. I think.
Having a good time. Having a good time.
Are we having a good time though?
As good as you can have, given the situation.
Yeah, given the circumstances, I don't know if we're having the best time.
You actually get a plus. You actually get a granny inspiration from seeing a naked gilf. You're like, whoa!
Whoa!
Jesus Christ.
Crazy.
You do have the cold brew going.
Sorry. I'm gonna mute myself. I feel like I should apologize since I took Jill to get the cold brew.
It's funny, but.
No, Jill's right. Fizzy probably hasn't seen an entirety of someone so wrinkled.
I think, again, Fizzy's like, I cut myself off. I did the opposite of what I meant to do. Which is I meant to unmute myself because I thought I was muted. It's a whole thing. No, Fizzy's just like, electrons are firing in a way that they don't normally in her brain right now with that whole fight, so. I think she's just kind of... She's very confused in general with everything that just happened. But she's also trying to like just to kind of make sense of it in her head. So that's all.
Okay. You guys try to relax and clean off after the encounter. Darius, you would have made your way into a few towns, to be honest, and acquired the incense and ivory that you needed for the legend lore. Actually, no, the ivory you reuse, so the incense. My mistake.
Just the incense, yeah.
And then you would basically teleport your way, will make your way back to the tower. Set out your ingredients to begin working at making a new spell scroll for legend lore. Out of curiosity, what exactly would Darius be thinking in this moment, knowing who is going to be using the spell scroll?
I think she would kindly request from her daughter the blanket back that she uses for shock, because someone else needs it right now, and mommy will give it back once they're done with it. And she will ask Bryn to put on hot tea and maybe something to add to it, depending on how this goes.
Does brandy go with tea?
What's a hot toddy?
Oh, okay. Never mind. Your spouse will just kind of gently drape the blanket over you for the time being, and put some tea on to begin brewing and then steeping, with basically a small shot of something on the side if you wish to put it in. And you will get to work. Over a period of about 3 hours, you begin effectively modifying the typical ritual of a legend lore, imbuing the actual spell paper that would be used for the scroll itself with the incense, and then inscribing it with all of the formulae, effectively, in order to allow the scroll to be usable. And in the end, you have something that will be a single use and will allow legend lore to be cast. And all you need to do is deliver it to Hadrien.
And she will carefully walk back to the medical room, kind of keeping her footsteps light intentionally as she goes.
Fitz and Caz, over the 3 hours that have been lingering, Shay has come in and out of the medical room, applying bandages and stitches to you two, well, namely Hadrien and Caz, that is. Fitz, you've managed to make a fair way through your book just because of how well read your character is. Hadrien really has not said much of anything at all. I heard someone unmute. I don't know who did, though. Okay, that was you.
At some point in the 3 hours, without really... Sorry. It's my motorcycle outside. It's self-driving. You might have heard it. So loud. I say with the windows open like it's not my fault. But,
It would be
It
like
isn't your
80-something
fault.
in this apartment if it wasn't.
yeah.
It isn't necessarily your fault that they have unnecessarily loud motorcycles.
Sorry.
There's also someone moving, so the doors keep slamming.
Oh,
If you see me jump, it's because I'm the jumpiest person alive. Yeah, at some
Becca
point
may
in
have
3
you beat.
hours, Fitz will kind of half look up from his book, and the room is like, you could hear a pin drop quiet. And Fitz will very kind of quietly be like, sorry for intruding the other day when you were in the middle of it.
It is fine.
Just gonna... Wasn't very mature of me to just sort of not say anything and leave, but I don't know if you've noticed this, but I'm quite the nervous individual.
Yes. I can see that you are anxious.
It's sort of an all the time thing. I sensed the coming of an awkward conversation, and so, like the coward I am, I ran. But I'm not... I need to grow up hair. Told me to stop being a whelp. Okay, so Fitz is gonna look at Caz and kind of like glare at Caz just a little, and then look at Hadrien and go, this might not be the right time to say this, but I like you.
Oh!
It's not good at timing, but it seems like right now neither of us can really run from this. Because if I run, she'll get me. Points at Caz. And you're sort of sorry. Where's Shay? Is he back? Could he sedate me, or was there like a...
It's fine. I understand. I suppose at the beginning of all this, I found you a enjoyable person to speak with and relax around.
If you want to just stick around with us for a little while, we could talk more, maybe. I still have the mask. You made me. Never wore it because I was scared that it would... I didn't want to damage it or anything, but then I felt bad not wearing it, but then I got handsome again, so I didn't have to wear it. Yeah.
Well, I can understand why you would wish to wear a mask. I've done the same. There's something freeing about being able to hide yourself.
In a way, but in another way it's sort of limits you. Sort of cuts you off from people, which is why, I mean, beyond the fact that I'm no longer mostly a corpse, you know, I don't find the need for one anymore because I don't feel like I have to hide any part of myself. So if you stuck around, we could maybe make a deal. No more masks, metaphorically or physically. Perhaps.
There are some things that need to be hidden.
That's fair. Well, I think I've done my due diligence here and done enough that I can walk out and Caz won't cut my ankles. So,
Yet.
yes, there's still time. I'll let you have that one because you're injured. Not again, though. And then Fitz will leave Frog in there, but Fitz will very anxiously scurry out of the room. Cartoon sound effects following
When
him
you
as he
leave,
goes.
you will pass Ignatius, who has been loitering outside the doorway.
Fitz will start walking and go, don't. And then he'll just go.
Because he was specifically loitering there in case something happened and he heard sounds of a struggle.
No struggle. Well, there was a struggle, but it was a mental
Considering
struggle.
the tension.
Real. I used my first cast of Force Cage on Hadrien. But no, Fitz very obviously though comes out of it, and the second he like isn't visible by people, he's extremely red faced. I mean, tips of his ears, whole face, and he's just kind of again scurrying back to the safety of his hovel. Like a
As
little
a-
mouse.
As Fitz leave, I tell him, see, I told you he likes you. I wasn't joking on that.
Yes. Yeah, you did tell me. It is something you should have left for him to say, though.
Yeah, but he bullied me to talking to my girlfriend, so this is an even chance.
I have a very hard... It's very difficult for me to accept the idea that I'm deserving of being in a relationship.
I feel the same way.
I don't know how to say it.
Is what?
I don't know how to say it. I don't know what to say.
To Fitz?
No, the reasoning why I don't feel I deserve it.
I think you just been alone for so long, you just really don't know how. But if you surround with people that care for you and, respect you, I feel like you'll eventually warm up to it.
The loneliness it's different, I think. I feel like the loneliness is just a byproduct. But for this, it just feels like it's something else. Like a growth tumor.
A good tumor or a bad tumor?
I don't think there are many good ones.
I can't say much.
It's so easy to hate.
Yeah. Well, I don't know necessarily about hating, per se. Maybe despise, but we're on the same page here in terms of wanting to get revenge on the person.
I think it's different for you.
Maybe.
It's not a bad thing. For you, it ends with one. But if what your friend said is right, then sure, I can certainly end it with one person, but that doesn't actually end it. At the end of the day, they may not have lifted a single finger and caused it, but at the end of the day, it was still dwarves. It was still Stonehearts. They still killed my father. And that is so much more than just one person.
I know that we can't really change the past about what happened, but we have connections that could prevent further details in terms of preventing more and more people dying. Like, we're friends with the queen. We can prevent that.
Poor people. Yes, that is a remarkable achievement you made. I appreciate your assistance. Though attacking me is a different matter.
Well, I didn't mean to attack you. What did I just say? It was my dagger.
Yes, well, I'll say you still owe me two things.
Okay.
You owe me for telling me for Fitz, and you owe me for stabbing me.
Okay, sure. If anything, you owe me two things as well. One, the dust of disappearance to get the shit out of there. And two, I mean, you should go on a date with Fitz.
Those are not the same thing, and you know it.
But they're easy.
Inspiration has struck Jill, it appears. At about this time, Darius, you will likely be showing up towards the room. Ignatius, are you still lingering outside?
Yeah. I mean, he still wants to be present for the Legend Lord. Just to make sure no rash actions are taken. The best person to feasibly restrain someone without knocking them unconscious.
Okay. Darius, you'll be walking past Ignatius, who's been lingering outside, as you are making your way to the medical room. Opening the door, you see that Fitz has left. It is just Caz and Hadrien, who appear to be having a somewhat muted conversation amongst themselves. Excuse me.
Pack it up, you don't need it.
I know. He's strong.
Chaos will set down the tray with the tea and the liquor. Sit on the edge of the bed that Hadrien's on. Pull the blanket off her shoulder. I need to warn you before you do this. There's more than told you things. You witness and see it. I watched it happen. So now the question is, are you prepared to see it?
No, but I'll see it anyways.
And then Darius will take the blanket she took off her shoulders, toss it over his, and put the scroll in his hand before sitting back down. You'll have a little bit of a headache after this, just a warning.
Ignatius will also call into the room. And we're already planning on going after the individual responsible. Whatever happens, this is just another log on the fire. This is not something that you have to go through alone. Keep that in mind, both for your sake and for Fitz's.
To be quite frank right now, and this might sound rude, I don't give a shit about Fitz in this situation. While I do care deeply for him, he is my friend. I need you to realize the consequences of things going on the aspect of everything but you. Use the scroll, and then we'll talk again.
Hadrien will unroll the scroll and he'll begin to look it over and recite the formulae. And you will watch as his eyes begin to roll into the back of his head as the scroll burns away into nothing more than a faint, fine ash, leaving the smell of incense behind. And Legend Lore goes for 10 minutes, right?
I think so. Let me double check the wording.
Okay. Actually, I'll probably I could have just pulled it up too, but.
Yes, it's 10 minutes.
Okay. For 10 minutes, he is stationary. His eyes rolled back, unmoving. And then it will end, and you will see the spell stops, and you know what he has seen. It is the same thing you saw. And as you do so, and you see it end, you watch as Hadrien's somewhat neutral expression becomes a hideous mask of just blind rage. There is no noise he produces. There is no vocalization. He just simply picks himself up, he throws the blanket off of him, and he gets himself up off.
I don't let
out of
him
the
leave.
Bed. Okay, are you going to try to stop Hadrien?
Yes.
You will have to make an athletics check against him.
Can I ask a quick question? Can I have parent
Sure.
strength in this situation? Because I'm treating, in my brain, Darius is treating him as an unruly child.
Brutal.
So?
Let me see. Let me see one thing. Sure, I'll allow it.
Because I haven't plus 0, so.
Remember, I'm right there. If he tries walking out the door, I'm stopping him.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. 14's pretty good for me, I'm not gonna lie.
That's fair. That is pretty good for you.
Checks out.
Really? He has a plus 12?
He has
He's a fighter,
expertise.
remember?
Oh, he has expertise in athletics. Bear in mind,
Go fuck yourself.
he is a professional carpenter. He does physical labor basically for a job.
Trying to think what else I can do at the moment, but I don't really got much. So just as he tries to get up to leave, Darius would say, "Hey, Iggy."
We'll go and stand in the doorway.
Hadrien will basically just kind of bodily, just kind of like grab you by one arm, just kind of throw you out of the way. Showing he does have some expertise for combat. Iggy, he will try to move past you as well.
And Ignatius will also say as all this is going on. You do not have to do this alone, but we'd welcome you in joining us when we confront him.
God damn.
Hadrien, let's talk about this, man.
I believe that between you and Ignatius, it's more of a struggle than it ever was with Darius. There is a clear difference in strength between Darius and Hadrien. So Hadrien was able to relatively easily throw her out of the way. With you, though, Ignatius, it is a struggle. It's not as simple as shoving you out of the way. He has to bodily move you or attempt to move you, and you do have to try to impose your strength against him. And Hadrien is going to, at some point, basically just clutch you by the upper arm and just kind of squeeze his fingers in tight to get you to kind of flinch a little bit, and he just brings his head back and fucking headbutts you straight on the nose.
Hey, Connor.
Yeah.
Is that how it's going to be?
While they're fighting, can I do something?
You may.
I want to cast banishment on Hadrien.
Banishment?
Yeah.
Alrighty. It's a charisma save, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
At least I'm 90% sure. I don't have it on my sheet because it's...
It is a charisma save.
It is, yeah. He does not have to beat much for that, to be fair.
He still has to try to beat it, and he doesn't have a bonus.
No.
Oh, sick! He's gonna vanish for a minute.
Were there
shit.
audible sounds of a struggle?
That's what I'm
Sorry.
saying. That's what I'm asking.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, that we would have called over, saying Hadrien is trying to get out.
And you also would have heard me yell for Iggy.
Is the bathroom people close enough at this point? Because it's been like...
It's been hours. I don't even think we're in the bathroom anymore.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Yeah.
Unless you're the pruniest man alive.
Right, yeah. Even as
You
we
might
last...
have you might have trouble slugging your way to this point. Fucking slug trail behind you.
Yeah.
So we can come running, yeah.
Yeah, you guys will be able to come running pretty quickly. Ignatius has a faint trickle of blood coming down his nose at this point. And Hadrien is nowhere to be seen.
You do hear the infamous pop noise, though.
I mean, also Ignatius would just use one lay-in hands to stop bleeding and just kind of wait there for Hadrian's return.
Well, you guys have a minute.
Brings out a life. So here, hold this side of it. Where did he disappear? Okay. Now we just wait. And then when he appears, just yank the...
There's a better solution, which is Fitz has hold person.
Well, I was just gonna say,
save.
Fitz is just gonna ask where Hadrien was, and is gonna stand in front of where Hadrien disappeared. Like, so when Hadrien pops back, they're like,
Oh, bam.
face to face.
Alright.
Fizzy,
That's fair. You know what?
I will say Fizzy is very wisely staying to the back and out of this.
Yeah.
This is not
Yeah.
really her expertise. This is...
And Caz is still on the bed watching this.
I'm lying on the bed. I'm like, God damn
He's a
it,
patient.
I need a bed.
I'm preparing to tackle him to the ground if I have to. That's my
She did not take the news well. he immediately threw off the blanket and tried to storm out. He's pissed. That's your warning before I let the spell go. Okay? And break. And I'll pull him back out.
Fitz is just immediately taking up the, like, Chris Pratt Jurassic World.
You do so, and you will see Hadrien there. He is wearing an expression you have never seen on him before. Just an absolute contortion of anger.
Hey, I'm sorry to break this. Season 4 of Ted Lasso was just confirmed.
Shut the fuck up! Deadass?
Jason Sudeikis has confirmed he will be returning for his role.
What the fuck? Wait, what the fuck?
I'm sorry, hold on, I'll send the tweet in Dicefunctional and Dragons. It's from Discussing Film, and that is a credible news source for entertainment.
We've all been hanging out a lot, so this actually doesn't surprise me a lot. But oh my god, that's amazing.
Okay.
Anyway, how long has it been since fucking season 3? That's crazy.
2 or 3 years, I think.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna watch it day fucking
I'm so
one.
sorry to have interrupted that intense moment, but I couldn't have sat on that.
Yeah, no, I just went on Twitter and I immediately saw it.
Okay. Back to the
That's
grind.
Wild, actually.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to being a participant in this scene in the background.
I
Apologies.
did not expect that. No, it's just, that is not the. I always feel like season 3 felt like the end to me. So like the idea of them doing a 4th is I'm not gonna say no.
But yeah,
But, like,
it's crazy, yeah.
But like, yeah, I'll take it.
I'm gonna watch it.
We get to see Sam again.
I get to see Danny Rojas again.
Danny, look.
I just,
My cat!
I just like Ted.
My cat!
I love Ted, but I love all the other characters too.
Oh,
Like
guys,
I love the soccer team so much. Anyway.
Oh, shutting the fuck up.
Back to Dungeons and Dragons. Intense moment.
Mm-hmm. What would I make you roll? That's
If it helps, Fitz would also probably be talking at that point. So we could probably turn it into like a persuasion, which isn't good for me because I don't have a plus to persuasion, but
I mean, it's better than the alternative of
it's-
athletics. You will get
Actually-
handily thrown.
yeah, I have a +2 to athletics.
Uh-huh. There's a 10-point difference here.
Yeah, Fitz will kind of have his hands out and be like, I know I'm not stronger than you, so I'm not going to try to stop you, but I'm going to try to talk you down from this. If you stay, we will help you. This was not... Going off alone on this is not smart. I know you want to, I know you're angry and you're upset. But take a breather, take a day, even. Let us convince you to stay. Please.
All right. Persuasion with advantage, please.
Yay!
I was gonna...
Sorry.
Gotta love the dice being like, you're gonna get what you want.
Yay, get the 20.
The dice said gay rights.
The dice
Gay rights.
gay rights.
You will. You basically kind of place yourself in front of him, and you just try to talk him down, and like the anger does not go away. You can tell, but you have gotten through to him, and he is now listening to you. And he's going to choke out the words, I am not going on my own. I am going outside.
All right. I trust you.
Can I roll an insight check on
That's
that?
like, I don't. I want an insight.
You trust.
This is fully like, you know
Yeah,
what?
I trust you. Showing
Totally
that like
fair.
I'm not trying to shadow you and like
Totally fair. However,
Two people with like plus 10.
The rest
Red
of you are like,
12s. I've got a 12.
27 total.
That's a good thing you did. I rolled like shit. 15.
So rolling insight, you can see that he is absolutely livid, of course. And he does not appear to be lying. It seems more like he's trying to redirect an immediate instinct he may possess, and to do that he is going outside.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. She'll just like.
Is he gonna cut wood? Because he's a carpenter?
He's not a lumberjack.
Okay, but that might actually help because it would get his aggression out with an axe.
oh no, Hadrien's outside chopping wood.
Fizzy will just be like, go outside. Do you need something outside to like help you deal with the anger that you're currently feeling? Because I know you're angry, and I know you want to kill something.
I'm sure we
But
could
your
dig up
option-
some.
Your
like,
options are
training
probably,
done.
but maybe something that will help you take it out a little on something. Maybe something with his face on it, like a dummy with his face on it. Maybe that'll help for now. Just to like take the edge off. Because I know you're like angry, and sometimes the best way to deal with them is to like hit things.
Or it's really fucking cold outside and he could just drop himself in the snow and lower his body temperature.
That could also help.
I think he just needs a bit of time to process all of this.
Just let him go outside, guys. It's fine.
Yep.
It's fine. Go outside.
Yep.
It's not like
The rest of you, in here.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not. To BH, it's not really like he can go anywhere. This is on top of a cliffside.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's also that. So.
We can
Wouldn't get
follow
very
him
far.
with the
But
Mia
if you
he
want
does try to
something-
run.
I'll say if you want something to hit, let us know. We'll give you something to hit.
Or let the tower know. It's kind of weird like that.
That's true.
I think that by trying to help, we are impeding him on getting outside
Yeah, let him
and
go outside, guys.
breathing fresh air. So everyone, I love you all dearly as my friends.
You guys want to see
Stop
where the
trying to
bathroom
help.
is? You guys want to see what the
Darius
bathroom
is pulling us into the room.
Oh,
Let's
yeah,
go.
Darius has already seen enough to know. Nope. In. We're done
Fitz
out
this
here.
whole time has been motioning for Hadrien to go, and Fizzy's like, we should just let him go, and Fitz is like,
Yeah.
you're the one who stopped him!
I think like Fizzy is still talking, and Ignatius like puts a hand on her shoulder and just kind of gently steers her into the room as she's talking.
Fitz chloroforms Fizzy.
Sorry, I don't have any
Takes
more
her out.
for right now.
It's enough, just take deep breaths. Go to bed, go to bed.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Look at the flowers, Fizzy, look at the flowers.
So-
Once he is gone, we will close the door temporarily, and we're gonna have a discussion about where to go from here. Because he did just watch his father get brutally murdered. I warned him, to be fair.
A warning can only do so much.
I
Though.
was gonna say, I don't think there's an amount of warning that can prepare you for seeing your father get murdered.
No,
very
it
brutally,
doesn't,
so...
but he went in knowing, is what I'm saying.
I don't think that helps, unfortunately.
Okay, I need to very briefly just derail this for a second. I was trying to type in extremely hardy crops so I could learn about like crops that are well versed
Extremely
at
hardy.
yeah, good at growing in other environments. And immediately my phone tried to correct it to extremely gay names, and I'm not sure why it tried to do that.
Top 2 names actually, Fitz and Hadrien.
That's weird, yeah.
I don't know. Right under that, Costella, Vera.
So
That's weird.
And you got Jairus under that.
Yeah. What a weird list.
Um,
We should. I want to make a shirt that's a Google search that says extremely gay names, and then the page. It's just all of our D&D character names.
That would be such a good shirt, actually.
That would be very funny. The back says Dicefunctional.
What was I gonna say?
He saw his father die, discussion, all that stuff.
Nope, I don't remember.
About their next plans.
Listen, I don't know what's going through his head. I don't know where to go from here. He's made a lot of decisions up until this point with information that was incomplete. He has the full knowledge now. And for all we know, some of it could still... It's really hard to... It's hard to break a world that you've had. Even with something as shattering as that. So where do we go from here?
Well, we can't really do much to help Hadrien other than just being there for him. That's just gonna take time.
Yes.
But I think it might be time to start taking out some of the folks at the top.
That might also push up Avik on the list, as we don't want Hadrien deciding to take it into his own hands.
So we need to be very careful about who we target and when. Like that
And-
Lich fella, we could probably go after him without sparking
fuck?
too much. What?
Why did you send me that?
I figured you'd be the person most upset by it.
I'll put it in Dicefunctional.
Listen, you have to sometimes you see something and you go, who's gonna be the most angry about seeing this? And it was you.
Please, since we're taking this moment out of game, Jess sent me a hat earlier and I need it really bad. It says, neon penises erection. I think it's really funny. Neon penises erection.
I need to get Becca that hat.
Ew! Why
Uh,
would you?
Like I said, Connor seemed like he'd be the most upset by
It
it.
makes me
That's why I
so
sent it to
unhappy,
him.
actually.
For stream, it's a
mean-
picture of someone's like stir fry or whatever on top of their
Just fucking
desktop.
free
timer.
ball.
I'm gonna ask a
We-
very
we
nice
don't
thing.
mean a
Can you
plate in between
spoiler
it.
that, please.
It does look
'Cause it
pretty
ma-
nasty.
It's literally the food, no plate, paper towel, or
It
any
makes
sort
me
of barrier.
nauseous.
But
Anyway,
anyway, Granny is saying that
Yes.
suggesting the Lich, because if we go after them, that's not as likely to start off the warning bells, and he seems to be actively killing people, and if we let that go on, that would be very bad for many more people.
yes. We still also haven't figured out how to draw Avik out where it won't be in a major public place.
It's Avek's gonna be the hardest to get at, and we need if we don't want to, like, look, I don't have much else to live for, but, like, y'all do. So we're gonna need proof before we take out Avec. And we probably want, since he's the mastermind, we probably don't want to quite save him for last.
Okay, well, I also think that the guy who's killing a whole village is probably a bigger threat immediately.
That's what
Personally.
I said in it, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a bigger threat, and Avec, yeah, we should wait on that. Maybe, even though I don't know if that's going to make Hadrien happy.
Adrian can
Well-
wait for one person.
He also needs time to recover. Even after his injuries, he's been fighting and running for so long that certainly it wears down one's stamina. He could probably use to have his weapons and equipment looked at as well.
Now that we have a sort of game plan going forward, is this the right time to mention I might have sort of added something else to Hadrian's plate?
What did
What
you
is-
do?
Yeah.
Did you tell him you liked him? I can see it on your face. You're already a
might
tomato
have-
again.
I might have maybe
It's
mentioned that. You weren't in here. The tension in this room was palpable.
Fitz.
I'm sorry. I could
I
feel
say
an
this.
aura coming off of Caz that suggested that perhaps I wasn't leaving the room alive. If I didn't.
Fitz. I say this with all the love in my heart, and as someone who confessed their love to their partner on their deathbed, this was worse.
Oh,
Well,
no,
it
that
was either
seems
no
harsh.
or I would never do it ever because of the way that I am.
Adrian almost died too, so I mean, like, that
It's
could have been
sort
the
of a-
last thing.
Situation here. Who knows? Maybe we go after this lich and one of us dies.
I think we should
And then I-
commend him. Fitz, I'm proud of you for doing it.
Thank you. It was really
Even if the timing
scary.
could have been better, you still did it.
The
That's the
timing
important
was
part.
really bad.
And to let Granny and I know if you would want one of us to have a prepare ceremony.
Oh, guy, listen. Can I leave now? Actually, can I go?
Nope. No.
No.
Puts a hand on his
Why not? We're done planning.
Circle back around. I love you all dearly, and we do need to decide where we're going next. However, we do need to deal with the angry half-elf that just stormed out of here.
Yeah, he needs to burn off some steam.
He's
What do you want?
angry.
I mean,
right
after
now.
that.
Okay.
We talk to him like an adult. I don't. That's sort of where my mind's at. I figure you can really talk through things quite well. At least I've always sort of been able to myself.
And I
I'm-
think he deserves to know why his father was killed and why it's so important that he not be reckless about it.
I'm also gonna be real with you. I don't have a strong weapon to fight against a lich.
We can find you one.
Yeah,
sure there's-
I don't know about that.
The,
We can go
the
to
museum's
museum.
up north.
Yeah,
Perhaps
we
they've
could
got a
see
have-
it.
dagger of the non-sentient variety.
Yeah.
Alright, guys.
Mm.
We'll figure things out for you.
Looking directly into your eyes if you ever do that again. I know I've already said it, but I'll strangle you to death with my own hands. Huh? It's not an empty threat. I'm
I
very
mean, where
strong.
did you guys put Fayon?
Wouldn't
I-
you like
we
to know?
cannot tell you that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Nope.
Not
That's
Not
also
your
the
problem
first time you
anymore.
guys heard her name, by the way.
Oh. Oh, it's got a name too. Yeah, surely
Yeah.
that wasn't a red flag.
yes. We couldn't have used that to potentially look at whatever checkered history it might have.
I'm triple, quadruple checking anything I hand to you from now on. I'm sorry that I let it get to you without checking it first. I apologize for that. You
Huh? What do you mean?
pardon my well, I didn't identify it correctly, and then it was given to you, and then it led to this.
Oh, I thought you knew it was sentient.
No.
Oh.
Fun fact.
Because I
Oh,
wouldn't have given it to you if I had known.
An item that insists you hide its presence and sentience from your companions also is likely very capable of hiding its sentience in general.
Yeah.
And just because you're okay now, pardon my language, alright?
Okay.
You scared the shit out of me.
Ooh, you got a swear from Fitz.
Don't
Right on the map.
That's
ever,
pretty.
if another weapon ever tells you not to tell us, I want you to ignore it. If you don't tell the rest of them, I've had talking weapons come to me. Solidarity. I'll tell you if it's being dodgy or not. Alright?
I know. I'll let you know if the weapon does talk.
Thank you. It's all I ask. Maybe we can avoid having to beat the life out of you ever again.
To be quite
It's
frank,
not
this
happy.
actually did not end that badly.
Yeah, I guess
Didn't
it
it
could have
break?
been worse.
None of us died.
Hadrien went down 2 times,
It's okay. I got him back
so
up.
that was not good.
I got him back
Let me
up.
correct that. No one died and didn't come back. As someone who has died, it's not that bad.
Well, I think Caz would have felt pretty bad if she had killed one of us. Especially Hadrien. I would hope she'd feel
Yes.
bad anyway.
I do feel bad. What do you mean?
I'm just joshing you.
Kaz,
little
at
bit
the
of
end of the
teasing.
day,
What?
despite what we're saying about, telling us, it's not really your fault.
It's
At
not
the
your
end of the
fault.
day. This weapon manipulated you. That could have happened to any of us.
I thought she was my friend.
And that's
That's
what...
what-
she depended on. You thinking that she was good and your friend and had your best interest in mind, when in reality...
And you were sad,
And
right?
I'm still sad, but yeah,
You
go
were-
on.
and
Yeah,
as
because
I
Dad, you got this. Did you get the sword right after Tana died?
You were actively grieving a lot worse than you are now.
Exactly.
You're vulnerable. And she took advantage of that, because that's what bad people do.
yeah, and as
Well,
I
she-
said earlier today, any friend who doesn't want you to tell your other friends about them, not a good friend.
You're not a bad person because someone used you, Kaz. This does not make you a bad person. None of this was, I already said this, but none of this is your fault. Just because you hurt some of us because someone used you, it's not a reflection on you. It's a reflection on them. You can choose to believe me or not. But it wasn't you.
I'm gonna go to the bathhouse.
Before Kaz can get up, Fitz kind of takes his hands and kind of squishes her cheeks and goes, "Oh, I love you, Castella. You're like a little sister to me, and if anything were to happen to you, I'd be devastated, so don't blame yourself. You stink. Go take a bath."
Ugh. Okay.
In fairness, Fitz, you are not much better.
Yes.
That just waiting for everyone to go to bed. He's very self-conscious about his body.
Question: how much does it cost again to make a first level spell scroll? Because Ignatius wants to.
I'm pretty sure it's relatively cheap.
I think it's like
Price
50
of a
gold.
less 30.
Yeah.
The cost to buy one is like 50 to 60 gold depending on the shop. The make one is 30. It's nothing.
So he'd asked Darius, would you be able to spare this enough spell paper for a first level scroll?
Oh yeah, I've still got. Hold on, I gotta go down to my list. I still got 180 pieces. How much do you need?
30.
Yeah, no. Knock yourself out. I'll take it off my sheet.
And he does, before needing to rest, he does have a single first level spell left. So Ignatius is going to make a spell scroll of protection from evil and good. And then he's going to pull aside Reuben to have a little talk.
Interesting.
Okay, what are you gonna do with my boy?
Basically, I'm going to say, we both care about Caz being safe, and none of us can be certain if that dagger's influence is completely gone. None of us are with her at all times except for you, and I'm certain that you know her better than any of us. So if you see any signs of a struggle, of Phaon or any other entity trying to take control, use this. It will keep her from being possessed. We're trusting you with this. And I'm certain if it did come down to it, you would be very happy for you having helped her, just like you did in the sewers.
You hand him the scroll of protection from good and evil, right?
Yeah.
And he'll kind of nod, and he'll set it into one of his offhands, and then he will walk away. He'll kind of nod his head and he'll walk away, actually back to the chest that leads back to the cart.
Yeah. We all know he's smart enough. So I'm not gonna tell anyone about that. Darius might be able to guess. But it's a good thing to have in the back pocket. That I can't resummon Bloos until after a long rest. So
Please don't summon him until after a long rest. Please.
we technically didn't level, so I don't have the spell slot or that level spell to summon him anyways.
I'm scared of him. I accidentally killed him one time and he's never gonna let it go.
That's because you haven't genuinely apologized to him yet.
Darius doesn't know! The classes got postponed because of things going on.
I think we need to re-up the classes then.
Talk to Fitz. They're the one teaching me to be nice. I even said I loved Fitz earlier.
Well,
What's that fucking look for, Fitz?
Fitz, I think we need to re-up the classes.
That face was more of like, I think that right now, your forgiveness or I'm sorry classes aren't necessarily number one on my priority list.
Is it the fact that the guy you like just walked out after watching his father be killed brutally?
That and also telling Hadrien all of this sort of jump starts our big plans, because I feel like there's only so long we can sort of prevent him from going off. And I would much prefer if we were perhaps there when he does decide to
I agree.
metaphorically storm the castle. So
So I think we need to get Caz a weapon. I think
Of course.
that's, and then we need to. I don't want to go. Yeah, I don't think going after Avik will be immediate.
What's that
but-
noise? What's that noise?
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I was
It's
like,
just-
what the fuck?
It's me clicking. Sorry, fidget. I'm gonna put it down. Sorry. But if we do that, and then we go after the Lich, and then we go after Avik, I think we can do one fight before Avik, but I don't think we can do any more than that. Because I think
Yes.
I think by that point Hadrien will have healed up.
I think that's probably a fair assumption as well, because while the Lich might have just been us being do-gooders, 2 people on the list dying close together, that's gonna trigger Avik's, like, warning signs.
And an out of character reminder, because Ignatius is not with you yet, you did have a discussion with the partner of the Lich to
Yeah.
look for him, so we have an excuse to go looking.
Yeah, he's also currently a missing person. So we can just follow up on the missing person case. And I guess we'll try to discuss how we're gonna deal with the Avik once we've dealt with the Lich. Maybe an opportunity will have presented itself. Maybe Hadrien will have pulled off to contribute to the discussion. I don't know. I was always the boots on the ground girl.
With the party now coming to a conclusion of what to do next, you all, well, bathe in some cases as you need it. Others wait impatiently near the entrance of the tower for Hadrien to come back in. And the rest of you begin setting up your own various tasks, while a certain monkey that the party has to deal with goes back to the cart and starts working on his own thing. But we will take a quick break, about 5 to 10 minutes, and we will be right back. There are a few things that everyone here is trying to do. You don't know what Ruben is doing. I will make that clear. So let's just quickly go down the line. Caz, you were taking a bath.
Yes.
All right. Darius, you
I
have
think
not
she's
bathed
just-
either.
She had prestidigitation put on her.
You're still kind of stinky though. Just saying.
Nine. Not yet. I have things to do.
Alrighty.
Un-
What exactly
unless
is Darius
she-
going to be doing?
Probably sitting and making sure Hadrien comes back. In the living room, hanging out with her. Is that what Fitz is doing? In that case, she's probably continuing her child's lessons.
While you stink.
I was about to say, listen, the baby probably smells worse than she does. There are worse things about happening.
Stinky baby.
Children always
Babies
stink
are
more.
sticky.
Gross.
Yeah.
Um, Fitz, you've already basically said what you're doing. You were waiting for Hadrien to come back in.
Fitz is basically just like sitting near the door, the front door. Not on like any sofas or anything, like the door of the tower. He's like sitting on the stairs nearest to the door. Waiting.
Okay. Fizzy?
I'd like to wander the tower a little bit more.
Okay.
I want to see what's here.
Okay. Is there anything in particular you were looking for?
No. I just want to be surprised because there's got to be like some weird shit in here.
Okay, fair enough. Granny?
I think she's gonna like dip by the kitchen and like whip up like a basically like hot cocoa and something, you know, warm and bring it out to the people who are waiting for Hadrien and just kind of hang out as well with an extra mug for Hadrien. And
Gotcha.
I'm assuming
Ignatius?
and I'm assuming Fitz can keep it warm with prestidigitation.
Yeah.
Ignatius will bathe after Caz, and then also kind of look around the tower because he's never really been here except teleported in quickly into the chest. And
enough.
he doesn't know what people have looked for, what has been found here. So he's going to look if there's an armory or a vault to see if there is a suitable replacement weapon for Caz. Of course, going to bring it to Fitz first if he finds anything.
Fair enough. So, Castella, you're bathing.
Yeah.
The Roman baths here, or we keep calling them Roman baths, but that is a out of game descriptor, so that you understand what we were talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. I just needed to clarify that so no one was like, the Romans don't exist in this game, and I'd slap you if any of you dared to correct me like that.
Okay, have we ever done anything like that?
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
guilty of
And
that
I'd do it
all the
again.
time.
I mean, there's also a difference between a character calling it the Roman baths and the narration going, "There's a Roman style bath," because like
Yeah.
we know what that means.
Yeah.
But also, we like
I
to
am
call it
speaking
out
to
very
you.
tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
We like to
I'm
make fun
speaking-
of it.
I'm speaking to you, the play. I already had to make me saying Jesus Christ in character's voice multiple times a canon reason because I
Yeah.
couldn't stop myself.
I mean,
Okay.
me too. I
And
was
every
also
time-
guilty of that. Don't worry.
Every time, oh hey, player name is in the game instead of character.
That's different.
So, you are inside of the Roman style bath in the tower itself. It is probably the most relaxing moment you have had in quite a while. You really haven't had the chance to properly sit down and bathe in a place like this. Prestidigitation from Fitz has been basically the go-to method of keeping yourselves clean for probably the last few months. Which I personally would hate, but I mean, it's magic, so it does work.
Yeah.
As you are simply relaxing in the bath, just for a moment, you could swear you hear something.
Kaz tries to look around. I guess. Like, this is not a prank, right? It's not funny.
You don't hear anyone respond to you.
Kaz is just gonna close her eyes. Just trying to de-stress. as much as she can.
Caz, you close your eyes and you lean your head back to try and relax a little bit more. And as you do so, you start to feel cold fingers start to reach from behind and touch you by the neck.
What behind me?
No?
Are there ghosts in here?
Is there a ghost? This is a little rude.
Haunted bathtub.
Well, I mean, obviously from that reaction, she's gonna like, I don't know, get scared, paranoid, I guess.
You still see nothing around you. The steam from the bath reveals no shapes hidden inside the actual room itself.
Wanna relax? My God. I'm not even done cleaning. Just leave me alone.
You hear nothing in response.
She's just gonna casually try to ignore it because it's just all in her head right now. It's all in her head right now. She's just stressed.
Make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay, that's not a great idea. You just.
There's
Okay,
absolutely
wisdom.
ghosts in this bathroom.
There's
Or it's the
ghosts.
dagger trying to get her to
Hey, you guys!
use it again.
I'm not great at wisdom, guys.
Oh boy.
As you relax in the bath for a little bit longer, the water nearby will still just for long enough for you to see your reflection in it. And you look and you see that in the reflection, your left eye looks bright gold.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the steam is getting into me. It's fine. It's nothing worrying. Maybe I'm having too much water right now. I'm gonna go head back now.
Kaz, you leave and begin heading back out of the bath, grabbing a towel to cover yourself and
I mean,
drying
yeah,
off.
yeah.
The rest, a few of you are wandering through the tower. Fizzy, you are just wandering around to see whatever it is that you could find here. In time, you will find yourself in what looks to be a large circular room of some sort, with a geodesic ceiling. So it's like a sphere made up of triangles, making hexes, making a sphere.
I'm in Spaceship Earth.
Yeah. Or God, what was that movie with? I think it was Pauly Shore. Biodome. That's
Biosphere.
it.
Biosphere.
Biosphere. That's
Is
it.
it Biodome? No, it might be Biodome.
It's
actually.
Biodome.
It's Biodome.
What's right?
Biodome.
Thank
What's
you.
right?
You were right. I was wrong.
I watched that movie a lot as a kid because my parents liked it, and I forced Jill to watch it.
Jess made me watch it. Biodome. Polly Shore. Yeah.
When we were teenagers.
Terrible film. Just an
Terrible.
awful movie.
Inside of this room, with the geodesic ceiling, you can see at the very center there is almost like this array of rings, almost set up like a gyroscope, but they are maintaining a position when they are set into it. Markings along them denote something. It's a lot of numbers and tick marks. You're not entirely sure what it means, but it probably means something. With small rings and lenses on the ends of them, it looks like it's designed to do, well, something. You're not entirely sure.
Going to
It's
this work.
also completely well, it doesn't look like it's working right now. Like, it's not glowing, and it's not moving, and like, you can't make sense of it right now as is. So like, maybe it's just not functional right now.
I'm not smart enough for this. He just goes, I'm not smart enough for this. Fitz? Well, Fitz is doing something. I'll worry about it later. I don't know what this is. I'll worry about it later. I'm gonna make a note of where it is. I'm gonna make a note of the room, and then so I can describe it to people later. And I'm gonna go because this is a lot, and it hurts my head a little bit.
Okay. Ouch.
Seems familiar to me, but I can't remember the name.
You will likely know it the moment that I say the word. But unfortunately, Fizzy is not familiar with this term.
Fizzy is not a smart person, guys.
No, this is not a matter of intelligence. This is a matter of knowing of
Oh.
this specific invention.
Oh,
Yeah, you're fine. Ignatius, you've been meandering through the halls of the tower trying to find something like a vault or an armory. In time, you do wind up finding something almost like a vault. At least you think it is. It looks like a setting in the wall itself that is basically one large disc. It's kind of inset and positioned downwards a little bit, so you're only seeing like the topmost portion of the disc, and like the very bottom edge is covered by the floor itself. So like you just drew a line through a circle, basically. But you see no way to mess with it. You see no buttons or switches or nothing you could use to push it. It's like some kind of a doorway. You don't know what the heck it is.
Key elsewhere operating mechanism. Well, he'll try to see if he can see anything inside.
I can tell you there's no roll that you'll be doing here. I can tell you for a fact, no, you can't. The circle that you're seeing is basically just like, it is stone of some sort. There's no real window to peer inside of it. The crack is damn near airtight. You really can't see any way into it, and honestly, it's hard to imagine this moving.
Anything is possible here.
This is true.
Given what he knows generally about these extra dimensional spaces and that sort of thing, he will try one thing, which is going out of the room, imagining the door to that same place from another entrance, and going in from there to try to see if the opening depends on where you come in from, if there's any shift in it.
That is a fair thought. You will attempt to reposition yourself in your mind, basically. Wandering through and trying to see if you can get to the door through a different way, but you still wind up finding yourself in front of a large circular stone slab of a sort.
And think he'd just call out, Darius! There's a door of some sort here, and there doesn't seem to be a means of opening it.
Okay, 1 second. Remember the number 9. Alright? Keep your fingers up. I'll be back.
And if you raise the thumb, that makes 10. Come on, open it. No. Other one. Open the thumb. Open the thumb. Yeah. Yeah, good.
I think the next time you guys
to undo.
the next time you guys do lessons, you should do the. Where does the star go? That's right.
The
It's
square
The square hole.
But Janos will come in and go, "What is it exactly? Sorry, I could only partially hear you. I heard my name and then."
I was wondering if this tower had any sort of armory or vault. There might be something of use to replace Caz's weapon. And I came across this, but it seems to be airtight. It looks like it could be a door, but I don't see any sort of mechanism for opening it. And I figured you have a spell for that purpose.
It's the last charge of it I have, so we'll try it. And I'll cast my last charge of knock for the day.
Okay. You reach your hand back and you knock on the door, releasing one loud crack sound as you do so. And you'll watch from the very center of this circular door, it bisects very briefly. And then you watch as it begins to just kind of accordion its way backwards. Almost like if you cut a lot of lines into like a piece of wood, it starts to kind of like become flexible. The stone just flexes and curves backwards. And you are looking at what looks to be some kind of a large vault-like area. You see small locations where there are what you could loosely describe as safety deposit boxes for our reference, with small keyed openings for certain things to be used to make sure only one person can open them. You see numerous larger containers that have what are effectively like gridded cell bars to stop things from being easily snagged and taken out of them. But more importantly, you see that at the very top of this room, just behind, being led up to by two staircases going up about two flights, the best way of describing it. There's some kind of a pad on the floor, like a slightly raised dais that has some markings on it, and a bunch of metal plates and rings that are circling around it.
Well, this looks promising. I wonder if there's any sort of logbook that might hint as to what's in these drawers.
Possible if you look around, but I'm not really familiar with this.
I'll have a quick look, but after that, we should leave, as we don't know if it will seal again behind when the spell wears off.
Always possible. And I was in the middle of counting lessons, so I actually should go back now. I don't know how long she's been holding up the number 9.
Yes. So I'll do a quick look around. I'll do a quick look around because I think knock only suspends a magical effect for 10 minutes, and I don't want to be sealed in an airtight room.
That's fair. I don't trust Granny to not teach my child horrible things in spite. Because she thinks it would be funny.
Shouldn't Bryn be there as well? Or would they not care?
I think Bryn would find it funny, but Bryn is in the middle of, writing. They kind of locked themselves in our room. I don't know the last time they slept. It's probably best to just leave them alone when they're in a writing haze.
Very well.
They'll come out of it eventually, looking like they got hit by a truck. Fuck, trucks aren't a thing.
Look, hit by a carriage.
Hit by a carriage.
You could have said car, and that would have applied.
Yeah.
But I don't like to bother them when they're like this, so typically Britta's the one that deals with lessons about 78% of the time. But I had to take over while they're like this, and I left her alone with Granny. So.
Yes, you should hurry back.
Thank you. And Darius will scurry off to see what Granny is teaching her daughter.
You come back, the baby is doing like a double bird, like flipping the. And then she's like, "That's 2. Oh, you're back."
Granny didn't teach her to count like that. Alright? Don't count like that. It's 1. No, it's 3.
Yeah.
3.
Good job.
There's 1. No. Your father will kill me if you start counting like this. I need you to understand that.
Honestly, I love this little girl. It took no time at all to teach her how to do this.
She's so smart. She takes up to her father and me so quickly, which is a problem. Because her mother, other mother, not me, is devious, and I fear that.
Fun fact, when I was a baby, I got in trouble for counting like that. Like going 1, 2, 3.
Oh no!
My mom was like, "Duh."
Fun fact, when I was a kid, I must have been like 4 or 5. I was really like, I would read basically anything once I learned how to read. So one time I came up to my dad and my uncle Jim, and I looked at him and I said, "Hey Dad, what's a doochie bag?"
A doochie bag?
A
Doochie bag?
What's a doochie bag?
I'm gonna start calling people that. You're a doochie bag. Double fun fact, I almost had to have my middle finger amputated as a child.
What the fuck? Is this
You'll
fun?
get a lot of for Joe, yes.
Here's what happened. I was being babysat by my cousin who is like probably my age. Like he was like 25, 24 at the time. Like younger, and I was just a little guy. And I got a tiny cut on my finger. Right? And me being a kid, I said, and just sucked on my finger all day. And just like messed with it all day. And by the time my mom got home, it was like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. I said,
and it was mega infected.
And it was this big and like green.
Oh no!
And my mom was like, "Hey, what the fuck happened? I left you alone with my kid for less than 12 hours. And then we took me to the hospital and they had to drain my finger.
That's so fast.
Fun.
That happened so fast.
Well, because not only did I have it in my mouth, but I was like actively sucking on my finger.
Yeah, that.
So like pulling all of the blood.
Yeah, it meant that they were basically replacing the fluids that should have been here with fluids that should not have been there.
Yeah.
Including
and
the white
also,
blood cells.
Yeah.
When they went to go put like the iodine or whatever on my finger, they were like, "Okay, can you stick your finger up for us?" And I said, "No." And they were like, "Well, you have to." And I said, "I'm not allowed to do that. I'll get in trouble." And they said, "Here, how about this? Put your hand flat and we'll put it up." And I said, "Okay."
Jesus Christ. While the child is being taught poorly, Ignatius was briefly investigating the vault. Fitz.
Basically, if anything is lying out and also just basically jiggling all of the various doors to see if any are unlocked before going out.
They're basically all unlocked and they're all empty, sadly. But you don't see anything immediately attracting your attention, but there's definitely more to be learned from in this room.
Yeah.
Fitz, you have been waiting for Hadrien to come back in. At this point, probably about 15 minutes. You are on a mountain's peak, I need to point out. So it is very cold outside.
The whole time before this moment, Fitz has been playing with Frog in the fact that like he's got an old shirt or something, and he takes Frog and flips him on his back and goes, and then leaves the shirt on top of him and lets Frog like freak the fuck out. There's somebody I follow on TikTok who has a box of macaroni that they put their ferrets in. I love it. But yeah, Fitz, noticing that it has been a very long time and it is very fucking cold outside, he'll kind of like grab a spare coat or cloak or something.
Grab the mug of hot cocoa. I brought one for Hadrien.
Fitz will grab the mug of hot cocoa and a spare cloak or coat and kind of peek outside slowly, and if he doesn't see him, he'll kind of look and see if there's any footprints in
That noise, Michelle.
That's not me. I don't know what that is.
If you
That
hear
was
it
weird.
clicking, it might be our dryer.
No, it was like almost like a scraping or a sawing or some kind of back and forth motion noise.
I
I
don't
don't-
have it. I'm by myself.
I
I
didn't
don't know
hear
what
it.
the fuck that was.
I heard it too, but I don't know what that is.
It might have been the washing machine then.
Dryer.
Weird.
Yeah,
Dryer.
because it's going.
Right.
Oh, my
was
mistake. I
like,
Pay
apologize.
attention.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
sometimes
exactly.
yes, I do make noises, but like it's not always me. Okay.
I take responsibility for this noise, and I can't stop it because I'm talking.
That's fine.
But yeah, he'll kind of slip out the door, and if he can't see Hadrien, he'll look and see if there's any footprints or remnants of footprints, and follow them.
You will not have to follow it very far. It's just a little ways from the tower itself. You will see the shape of Hadrien basically just kind of standing in the cold. He is ill prepped for it, as his shirt was basically removed for stitches. And he has been standing out here in the cold for about 50 minutes, and his skin looks to be pale white at this point.
Fitz will kind of trudge through snow and toss the cloak over his shoulders and go, I know that you need time to sort of process this, but could you perhaps process it indoors so that you don't freeze to death? Also, Granny made you this.
You see that the breath from Hadrian's mouth is not fogging up right now. He seems almost non-responsive. He is not catatonic, but he seems like he may be suffering from frostbite now.
Fitz will then pull the cloak really tight around him, tie it, and then try to like pull him towards the tower door. Can I hold on? With prestidigitation, can't I like warm a space up to like 5 feet? I'll cast prestidigitation on the cloak so that it's really like warm, because I don't want to just like cast it on him and then like his body go into shock from being very cold to very hot. Yeah, I'll cast prestidigitation on the cloak.
Okay, that's fine. You will bring him inside, and once you bring him into the tower itself, it becomes clear to you and basically anybody else nearby that Hadrien likely did stay outside in that cold for way too long. He just kind of stood out there and just let it happen. He's probably gonna need to go back to Shay, and he's probably gonna need to be slowly warmed up and probably treated for some mild frostbite.
Fitz will sort of like, if Hadrien is cooperating and like walking with Fitz, he'll sort of just grab him by the hand and lead him back to Shay's doctor office.
Okay, that's fine.
And leave the hot chocolate with him if he wants it.
You can do so. You bring Hadrien back, and you basically set him down, and You leave him there.
Just kind of, I feel like maybe he doesn't want company. I don't know.
No,
It's
that's
a tense situation.
no, that's fair. He doesn't really seem to be responsive right now. It just seems like he is effectively kind of shut down a little bit. He's not all there in this moment.
Fitz will ask Shay that if Hadrien sort of comes back to clarity or like seems to be looking for anybody to let him know so that he can show up and be like, hey, don't do that. It's cold.
No power to stop you from doing it again, but don't.
I cannot stop you, but I am asking you so nicely, please don't.
Please stop it. God damn.
Yeah, that's my self-driving motorcycles. I own all of those, so sorry, can't help it.
Don't give Elon Musk any ideas, please. Don't say that again.
God, self-driving motorcycles. What the?
Sounds like such a fucking terrible idea.
I mean, cars are one thing, but motorcycles need balance.
That combined with the like airbag leather jacket that requires a subscription. I don't think they ever fully went through with that, but I know that was proposed.
What if they start doing subscription service for any airbags in cars?
Exactly.
Ugh.
Yeah, you'll set him down, and Shay is gonna wind up basically taking control of the situation, trying to help him along as best he can. Hadrien probably is not going to be up for talking for a little bit. Also, I would gladly kill any idiot in a motorcycle that loud.
The thing is, they're just regular loud motorcycles. It's just really close to the window. Like, the road is quite literally, like, maybe 10 feet from the window.
I hate, okay, I need to show, I hate motorcycles for a very specific reason. I lived in New Hampshire, and there's a thing called Motorcycle Week that is very popular around that time. And I lived near a highway, and you would just hear a bunch, just like fucking hordes of these dickheads.
Every Tuesday back home was Harley night at
Oh my God.
T&L at a hot dog restaurant, and you would just hear Harleys the entire night. So I'm kind of used to it, but I also, hot take, kind of want a motorcycle.
I mean,
so I can't really be too judgmental.
I wouldn't say no to having a motorcycle either, but also, like, I just don't want a loud one.
They're all going to be kind of loud.
Anyways. You guys have all, oh, actually, no, Fizzy. Were you going to try and find someone else to talk about the thing you found?
Yeah, I probably would have gone over to the group after I found that weird room.
Okay. Well, I mean, at that point, I mean, Fitz, you'll be coming back as Fizzy is in the middle of explaining something that she has found in the tower.
And they were like, it was like really weirdly, there were weird shapes everywhere, and then there were numbers, and I don't know what it means, and it looked like it wasn't working. Maybe it works. I don't know what it is. So, sorry, Fitz, I was telling them about a room I found.
Would I be able to catch the gist of what kind of room this is?
You have a rough idea, but if it's what she's describing, it's massive, and you'd probably want to see it to kind of believe it.
Show us the way, Fizzy.
Let's go! And I'll just...
There might have been something similar in this other room that came across. This platform with all of these wings and discs.
I'll show you mine, then, you know.
We've got time.
Yeah.
It's
just like skipping almost.
Sorry, taking a note. So you follow Fizzy behind to the room that she found, and you do vaguely recognize what she has found. It's just remarkably large what she has found. It is an orrery. And a particularly large one at that. Basically, it's something for the purposes of tracking astrological movements. So stars, the stars, the sun, planets, stuff like that.
Is it like that one room in Avatar: The Last Airbender in the library? where they
It
find
is actually closer to the orrery add-on for Oblivion.
Okay.
I know
Yeah,
about the Avatar: The
power.
Last Airbender one. I don't know about Oblivion.
I mean, that's pretty close. If Cody can find like a large orrery, then you'll probably vaguely recognize it. It's basically
There was one at the Field Museum at one point, but I don't know if it's there anymore. And I think the Smithsonian also had one.
basically it's a mechanical way of tracking how everything is going to be moving by restricting certain things to only move in certain ways when other things move.
Is it like? Does it look like this?
See?
Wait,
I googled Orrery Oblivion.
I mean, yeah, that is a grandiose version of it from Oblivion, but that is
Okay.
effectively what an orrery is like. Much more mundane versions just have the planets circling the sun, and when you move one, it shows you where roughly something else is going to be in that same position.
yeah, this probably doesn't do it justice, but this is from the Adler Planetarium. They have an entire room, and it's effectively every planet in our solar system and all the moons of the planets are there, and they're set to move on their orbital paths. And it's operated by clockwork mechanisms, so that way they move at this relative speed to one another, except it's more like an hour or a day for a full year's worth of movement.
Yep, and that's basically what you have here. Granted, it's not active, and it may show a little bit more if it was activated in the right way.
And all of the markings on it could be related to certain positions of the object in comparison to one another, or where they line up.
Fitz will just start looking like his eyes get all wide when he sees it, and he just immediately starts looking for some way to like turn it on to make it go.
Okay. Would you like to investigate?
Yeah. Investigation.
Can I provide guidance for this?
You may.
'Cause I want. Okay. Should we, like,
So-
here, get a little bit of extra help. An extra D4.
Okay. I was gonna say, can I get advantage? 'Cause I'm a very smart boy.
Well, I'd help. We
Okay.
remember in Ignatius' backstory, one of the things that got him into his travels was the fascination with the star and the
Yeah, that's fine.
rift that
So
appeared.
you'll have
So-
advantage, and you will have the D4.
He
Could be a-
studied it a bit.
Okay, and a D4.
Yep.
I want to get a very high roll.
D20.
30.
T20. 20.
Yeah, it's a 30 total.
Nice.
So Fitz,
Yes.
looking it over, first there is definitely some much more mundane mechanisms around here. Basically, sets of dials and levers to set times and dates and everything so that you can get everything into the right spots. But more importantly, it seems like it's also capable of tracking star movement. But that requires something of a sufficient brightness to be placed into this small little chamber at the very center of it. So it can then, through a series of mirror arrays, just send out this cascade of light to then show stars and constellations as well.
Just to see if it's sufficient enough light, Fitz will cast dancing lights, but put all of them in the same spot.
Dancing lights in this.
Just all of them right there. They're just stacked.
I mean, granted, can also use the light spell on like an object.
Use the light spell on my dancing lights. Double the light.
You guys will experiment a little bit using some light cantrips and the dancing light spell, casting it inside of the little opening, and you'll be able to get some very faint images of the stars, effectively. You can faintly see constellations, though fine detail seems to be lost, as does the detail of smaller stars that may be nearby. It looks like you may need something of significantly stronger brightness.
Ooh, dancing lights.
Well,
Another one.
I keep casting it a million times.
I have the daylight spell, but I don't have the capacity for it at this moment, and I don't know how we'd limit it to that one space.
Is my glowing enough for that?
No, it is not.
Damn.
We shove Fizzy into the tiny thing so when she glow, it make the stars.
Well, can't you put so light wouldn't work on like an object?
So that
Not
was
right.
basically the idea that was brought up through the dancing lights and the light cantrip. That gave you the result that you found of a faint image of some of the constellations,
So
but
we
nothing
need-
super bright.
I have moonbeam. Would that work?
Probably not, because you need to have something that puts out a huge amount of brightness in a very small area.
Okay.
Is there like a shell around this that an object would go in to
Yep.
create the light?
Yep. It is.
It-
It is about. It's an opening about yay big, size of a golf ball.
In
Yep.
that case, daylight would work because it doesn't spread around corners. It's a point source. But I again don't have the spell slots for it. I'd need
Yeah,
to
you
long rest.
physically can't do it right.
What we need is the Star Wars Kyber crystal to make this lightsaber work.
Stop it.
Give me a Kyber crystal. Let me put it in
Yeah,
there.
60 feet of intense daylight would probably be sufficient once we've rested.
A candle. 2 candles. 3 candles.
Another.
Oh wait,
It's
I
not
have
even a
sunbeam.
little
Oh, I have sunbeam. Would sunbeam work?
The sunbeam spread around corners. Let me check.
It's a 5-foot wide, 60-foot long line. Oh, 60-foot long. On a failed save, it doesn't say anything about a beam of brilliant light flashes out from your hand. So if I like do this, or if I do this,
I mean, basically the way of doing it was you just take your hand and put it directly over it and then cast it.
yeah,
So like that would work.
would that work?
Theoretically. The
I
only
can
one way.
try-
The only way to do it is to try.
I'm gonna try it. Fuck it, I'm gonna try it.
You put your hand above it and basically cast sunbeam directly into it, and for a minute, you get to see all the details of the stars and the galaxies and constellations that are nearby. They are in a brilliant detail, showing you everything from the large, more noticeable stars that have been noted by everybody else to smaller, less significant ones that don't fit into constellations. Small detail through colored light reveals small galaxies and other forms of supernova and other things developing distantly off in space, and you get this beautiful look of the skies around you. And then a minute will pass and it will end.
This bears looking into further later. That perhaps the device that's supposed to fit in there might be somewhere around here. When I can cast daylight, that will last for an hour, which would give a much more reasonable period of time to look into this.
Let's see, daylight. Can I do daylight? I should be able.
It's
Daylight's
a third
fifth level.
spell.
Third level.
Yes.
Well, wait. I don't have it. I can cast it. I just can't do it right now because I don't have it.
Yeah, you just can't do it
prepared.
right now.
Yes.
But if we
same.
get some sleep, you and I can both do that. And I can put in a third level spell into my coat for right now, but before I go to bed, so that I have that, so we can have extra, maybe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm completely out of spell slots right now.
I'm. It's not that I'm out of spells. So I have a third level. However, I don't have it prepped. So, or I
Yeah,
would do it.
technically speaking, I could short rest, get my channel divinity back, use channel divinity as a bonus action
Stop
to
it.
regain the spell slot.
It's not that big of a deal.
We
But-
can get it in the morning.
Yeah, it's like, what's the point of short resting then long resting unless if you expect an encounter potentially overnight, which we're not gonna have here in the Tower of the Card. There are DMs who would do that. I've had those. But
I'm not one of those.
yeah. I've told the story of the one that was actively trying to kill the entire party just to prove a point of this game is going to be hard and expect people to die.
Yeah.
Who sent
Well, they-
an invisible stalker at night against the party of level 2 characters.
Well, they were a shitty DM anyways.
Yeah.
You've discovered a small, an orrery room here inside of the tower.
We can take a look at the other room. I'm not certain if it is still open. Ignatius will go seek out the vault. See if it...
As knock only lasts 10 minutes, it has closed back up.
Yeah, if it's a mundane lock, it stays unlocked. If it's magical, it's only gone.
It's
for
gonna
10
lock
minutes.
back up. Yeah.
That does answer the question. It's magical, and it probably has an item or object that deactivates it. I checked all of the drawers and cages within the room, and they all seem to be empty as well. Seems whatever of value that was stored in here, besides that which might not have been able to be moved, was taken.
Like everything else of value in the tower. Seems to have been packed away and taken with.
Very well then. I suggest we all get some sleep.
Yay! Sleep is good.
Punk shoe.
Hunk shoe.
You guys will take the opportunity to have a early afternoon rest. You'll be sleeping right about 3 p.m. So
Whatever.
yeah,
As
it's not.
soon as everyone disappears to go take a nap,
Yeah.
bedtime. It's bedtime.
Fitz. You step away to use the Roman style baths here in the tower. You can see that it is eerily quiet here. Just the movement of the water and the occasional hiss and pop of some kind of a heat source that is keeping the water warm and hot in areas. By the time you are taking the bath, the location is basically empty.
Basically.
Basically.
What do you mean by that?
Hmm?
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean?
Basically, what do you mean by that?
What do you mean? I don't understand.
What do you mean?
Does Fitz have the passive perception to verify if this room is empty or not?
His passive isn't as high as everyone else's. Perception. He's got his passive perception is 17.
Oh, the room's empty.
I don't fucking trust you. That's the problem here. The way you say things is shifty. And Fitz is a paranoid little anxious guy. So he's gonna be making sure the room's fucking empty.
This and doing random dice rolls are the
Sweet.
two ways to make people think something is going on.
You can
when
roll a
there might-
perception check if you'd like.
I will.
Like,
Okay.
I will
like-
roll a perception check.
you haven't been there, and the DM is just like, and then doesn't say anything. And you're like, what was that? What was that for? And the DM's like, nothing.
I got a 10.
Doesn't concern you. And you're like, but I think it does.
I got a 10. That's not anything. It's so steamy, I can't see anything.
Are you doing well?
Yeah. Is that... Wait, hold on. Why the bath? Why? I come here to... What's going on?
Well, finally had an opportunity to speak after I have been handling some things over in my island. It has been busy, so I have not had the chance to reach out and converse. Are you well?
Great question. I think mostly I've sort of grown a pair and told Hadrien some things that I probably should have waited to say, and because we found out that his dad was murdered, and it was a framed murder, and the guy we're trying to kill framed his father, and his father got killed by a bunch of racists.
You realize I don't live inside of your head anymore. I can't simply understand things when you reference them.
Yeah. And Fitz will go into great detail, retelling the entirety of what's happened since they last spoke. Because he has a little photographic memory.
And the
Gets
time
into
this
too much
takes,
detail.
you will come out of the bath incredibly pruned because of how
He's-
long this takes.
Very pruny. He's just relaxing in the little bath.
Well, you are correct. I believe that it likely would have been better to time that differently, but still, I'm happy to see that you're doing well, Fitz.
Yeah. Things are about to get really, really rough. So.
Yes. That is part of the reason why I was reaching out to you, Fitz. It is likely that even though my brother is good by you mortals' perceptions, he is still a father. And his son, the brass dragon that you've been seeing, that is still his child. I need to warn you that if you do kill him, it likely will mean that my brother and I will likely begin to fight. And that could pull you into it as well.
Well, regardless of if that happens, I'm sure that we'll take responsibility and help you in any way that we can. But there's so many things being thrown at us right now that are world-ending, that are decimating people's lives, and we are just a group of people. And I don't know how to solve everything without the violence that we've sort of grown to use. Starting off, I much prefer to talk things out and to find peaceful resolutions to things, but it's proven time and again that there's just no way that can always happen. Seeing what happened to Adam, the carnage that was wrought, I don't know how we'll handle that non-lethally.
You likely won't. And that is not a failing of yours. My other siblings, the other deities, they will always want to blame the actions of mortals on mortals. Their behavior, warmongering, fighting, aggression, foolish decisions over petty arguments. They always wish to blame them on other mortals. But the reality of the matter is that you all are just reflections of us. That's all you've ever been. The dragons are just reflections of me and my sister and my brother. Mortals are just... they're like children that the gods have left their imprints on. You are like this because we are like this. And yes, sometimes there is not a peaceful solution.
This feels like a cycle that never ends. Being told that we are the way that we are because of the gods being the way that they are.
Yes.
The fiercely independent part of myself wants to try and break that cycle, but it's... I don't know if we've got it. I don't know if we have the power to break that cycle. I would love to break that cycle, but...
Well,
I don't want to start something terrible. I don't want to incite a war between brothers. I don't...
this is not your fault. Nor is it mine. Not really. Balthasar is still an individual. He still can decide. He has every opportunity to not do what he's done. And my brother is unfortunately just like I am. He cares for those that he is responsible for, those that he has birthed, effectively. He'd be just as angry as this, at this, if I would, the same way I would be if someone had killed Sio. I'd be just as furious. The same way your drow friend would be furious if someone killed a child. We
Always handle
gods...
it. Mm-hmm.
We gods love and hate just the same as you mortals.
Could always handle this the way one would handle an unruly child. call his father.
Yes, that would be a very unique decision.
One I might just make.
I believe there may be another way you could do that. I don't know how available my brother will be to someone who is not his disciple. No offense intended. Peter Sequoia is proud. Like my sister, he's proud. I suppose I was the only one that learned some humility. But while he certainly would be mad at the death of his child, he may not be mad if you, say, put him in timeout.
I'm really just imagining a very large, angry dragon facing a corner right now, but I don't believe pointing him to a corner would be the right decision.
Well, I believe I will leave you with an idea.
Appreciate it. Think on that.
You've done very well, disciple. Chosen.
It's just doing this motion like, quit it. Stop that.
I'll speak to you.
Hmm?
I'll speak to you again some later day.
I'll likely be here. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
We'll see.
Fitz is still in his little bed. He's all pruny.
And you hear nothing else from your deity, Yuzianawa.
That's
Yeah. And Fitz, you will then later go to bed. And as you dream, your mind will be filled with the thoughts of old magic, and a certain spell that was once used to imprison creatures that were particularly dangerous. You do not have this spell, but you know of the imprison spell, and that if you guys could get a hold of it or a way to use it, and then got the best opportunity possible, you could use it to lock something away for a very, very long time.
A very bad dragon, perhaps.
Oh, stop it. No. No, don't mention Bad Dragon live on stream.
Bad No!
That's not what I meant, and you know it.
Yeah. So basically, Fitz, think of it like you now are aware of that spell in particular. You don't have it. You can't cast
Right.
it. But you know of the concept of the imprison spell, and you know that if you could find something like that, there may be a way to end that conflict with Kalthasak without killing him.
Yeah, although I think the actual 9th level spell takes like 500 gold per hit point or hit die of the creature, and it
It's
probably
crazy.
has like 100 hit dice.
500 gold per hit die of the target.
Yeah.
So a level 20 creature would be
It might be like
10,000 gold?
10,000 gold. Yeah.
That's
but
a lot of
Some of them
money.
have double the hit dice of their level.
Yeah. So it could theoretically cost a lot. But
All our money.
Yeah.
All our money traded for the safety of the people being tormented by a dragon.
Exactly. Also, we'll point out, we'll have the opportunity to get more money, especially if we put away Avik. Avik will have lots of money that we can steal from him.
I would guarantee on that.
I think that we'll get rewarded for putting the dragon in timeout.
And that too.
The townspeople will be like, wow!
Yeah.
so Jill, I basically just provided you. I just sent you the imprisonment spell, so you know exactly what I'm talking about and what we're dealing with here. But I'll leave you with that, and you can kind of contemplate that as an option.
It's also saving those, so we need to burn all legendary resistances and then find a way to
That's
make
the
it
trick.
fail the save.
I like this one. Minimus containment. The target shrinks to a height of 1 inch and is imprisoned inside a gemstone or similar object.
Yep.
I can make
But-
him honk shoe forever.
We will leave off there. Thank you also very much for being here for the stream. Thank you to my friends for being here. Jolly, Jess, Jill, Michelle, Becca, Cody. Thank you guys so much for being here and hanging out. Yep.
You're
You're
muted.
muted.
Can't hear you, buddy.
You muted.
Sorry. Can we put in that we had a long rest? Are we allowed to?
Oh
put
yeah,
that in?
absolutely. You're taking a long
Yeah.
rest.
Okay.
I already changed the time. You're waking up at midnight.
Okay, cool. I just wanna my poor body.
Name
Oh,
the
thank
spell
God.
slots back.
I have my spell slots back. Okay, cool. That means I can switch out the spells. All right, cool. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So thank you all so very much for being here. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much, Anna, for popping by and stream. It was very nice to meet you. We always enjoy having more folks hang out and pop by. If you like this, pass the word around, tell your friends. We stream regularly. Video games basically currently Tuesday through Friday, though that may change when the Yakuza game I'm playing ends. And then D&D on Saturdays. But we all need to probably get some food, and knowing the rest of my players get salty playing Overwatch 2. Yeah, say bye, stream, everybody.